Okay, in this video, I'm going to go through exercise 1 and actually code it. I don't know how many videos this is going to take, but I'll try and keep each video to a relatively short amount of time. So these are the learning outcomes, and it's really important to read through these to make sure you know that once you're done, you have these ideas. So our starting code is this. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump into JCreator and make this. So to start off, we're going to add a new file, and we're going to make it an empty Java file. And here's the really important point. This file does not have a main method. It is a class file, and we use it to make objects. And the specific type of objects we make with it are circles. So we call this class a circle class. The name is really important because if someone's using this, they know very clearly what a circle class is. So we say finish. So we start off with public class circle, and then I build this to make sure it builds okay. And if we look at the instructions here, it says we want the following components. So these are called fields. So I need to add color in there. So these are called fields. Fields are attributes that an object has. So anytime I make a circle, that circle will have an X, a Y, an R, and a col. And col will store the color of the circle. Okay? So it's really important to get that word familiar with fields. Each object made has the following fields. Okay? So I can build this file. It's good to note. But I can't run this file. If I try and run it, it tells me I have no main. So what we often do is, when we're creating a class, we're going to want to be able to test that class. So we add another file, and I'm going to add a main class, and I'm going to call this class Circle Runner. The whole idea here is that I'm going to use Circle Runner to test the circle class. So I hit finish, and because it's generated a main class for me, it already puts it in there. I'm going to delete this constructor here. I don't need that. And we're going to put our code in here. So I now have this circle class, which I can use to make circle objects. And let's make a couple. So to make an object in Java, what you do is the following. I say the name of the class. So just like declaring a variable, if I wanted to make an int, I would say int. But I want to make a circle. And I'm going to call this first circle C1 equals, and because this is an object I'm creating, I have to say new, and then I put the name of the class again, brackets. So this is the type of variable. This is the name of the variable. New is telling the computer to make a new circle, so it's allocating memory and making enough memory to store it 3 ints and a color variable. And then this is what's called the constructor. So this is a special method that all classes have that makes the object for the first time. And it looks just like a method call. Now, the important point to come away with in this video as well is that if I do this, circle C2 equals new circle, these are completely different circles. I use the circle class to create these circles, but C1 and C2 are different. So if we wanted to look at this from a memory diagram perspective, and I'm just going to open up a new page here, what's happened is in memory, here's my memory, I've created this object C1, and all objects are reference variables, so it's pointing to where the information is. And this has an X, which is an int, it has a Y, which is an int, it has an R, which is an int, and it has a col variable, which is a color. And we'll explore that more a little later. But C2 makes a whole other set of copies of those variables. X, Y, R. And so they're two separate two separate objects made from the same class. So we also want to understand the idea that these are reference variables. So they're variable location stores where in memory the object is stored. So if I make another circle called C3 and I set that equal to C1, what I'm doing is making C3 equal to the same memory reference as C1. So again, if we think of this as a diagram, what happens is, yes, it's making some variable called C3, but C3 now points to the same object. So an important but subtle point is that if I start changing C1, that means that C3 is going to change as well, because they both point to the same object. In the next video, we're going to make some constructors.